Very good afternoon, viewers and my dear students. I am going to take up the Factories Act 1948. I am just going to give you the synopsis. The law relating to factories is governed under the Factories Act 1948. The Act has been enacted primarily with the object of protecting workers employed in factories against industrial and occupational hazards. For that purpose, it seeks to impose upon the owner or the occupier certain obligations to protect the workers and to secure for them employment in conditions conducive to their health and safety. It applies to factories covered under the Factories Act 1948, the industries in which 10 or more than 10 workers are employed on any day of the preceding 12 months and are engaged in manufacturing process being carried out with the aid of power, or 20 or more than 20 workers are employed in manufacturing process being carried out without the aid of power are covered under the provisions of this Act. The state government assumed the main responsibility for administration of the Act and its various provisions by utilizing the powers vested in them. The state governments carry out the administration of the Act through inspecting staff, certifying sergeants, welfare officers, safety officers. The Act stipulates measures to be taken by factories for health, safety, and welfare of the workers. That apart, it also lays down the provisions relating to working hours of adult workers, both male and female. However, certain additional restrictions have been imposed on the working hours of female workers. If there is any contravention of any of the provisions of this Act or any rules or order made thereunder, the occupier and manager shall each be guilty of an offence and punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 2 years, or with fine which may extend to rupees 1 lakh, or with both, and if the contravention is continued after conviction, with a further fine of rupees 1000 for each day till contravention continues. Now I am going to discuss about objects of the Act. The Act has been enacted primarily with the object of protecting workers employed in factories against industrial and occupational hazards. For that purpose, it seeks to impose upon the owner or the occupier certain obligations to protect the workers and to secure for them employment in conditions conducive to their health and safety. It applies to factories covered under the Factories Act 1948. Now I am discussing essential elements of a factory. There must be a premise, there must be a manufacturing process which is being carried on or is so ordinarily carried on in any part of such a premises. There must be 10 or more workers who are or were working in such a premises on any day of the last 12 months where the said manufacturing process is carried on with the aid of power, but where the manufacturing process is carried on without the aid of power, the required number of workers working should be 20 or more. The following are not covered by the definition of factory. Number one, railway, running sheds, mines, mobile units of armed forces, hotels, eating places or restaurants. Meaning of words, premises and precincts. The Supreme Court in a case A.H. Bhindranwala versus State of Bombay observed that the legislature had no intention to discriminate between workers engaged in a manufacturing process in a building and those engaged in such process on an open land, and held that the salt words in which the work done is of conversion of sea water into crystals of salt come within the meaning of the word premises. Manufacturing process being carried on or ordinarily so carried on. It must be interpreted with reference to the intention and purposes of the Act. Therefore, seasonal factories or factories carrying on intermittent manufacturing process do not cease to be factories within the meaning of the Act. 2010 10 or 20 workers. The third essential content of factory is that 10 or more workers are employed in the premises using power, and 20 or more workers are employed in the premises not using power. Where 7 workers are employed in a premise where the process of converting paddy into rice by mechanical power was carried on, and in the same premises 3 persons were temporarily employed for repairs of part of the machinery which has gone out of orders for the manufacturing was going on. It was held that since 3 temporary persons were workers, consequently there were 10 workers working in the premises, and the premise is a factory. Now I'm talking about manufacturing process. It means any process for making, altering, repairing, ornamenting, finishing, packing, oiling, washing, cleaning, breaking up, demolishing, or otherwise treating or adopting any article or substance with a view to its use, sale, transport, delivery, or disposal, or pumping oil, water, or sewage, or any other substance, or generating, transforming, transmitting power, or composing types of printing, printing by letterpress, lithography, lithography or other similar process, or bookbinding, or constructing, reconstructing, repairing, refitting, finishing or breaking up ships or vessels, or preserving or storing any article in cold storage. The definition is quite important, and it has been the subject of judicial interpretation in large number of cases. Measures to be taken by the factories. The Act stipulates measures to be taken by factories for health, safety and welfare of the workers, that it also lays down the provisions relating to working hours of adult workers, both male and female. However, certain additional restrictions have been imposed on the working hours of female workers. Penalty for contravention. If there is any contravention of any of the provisions of this Act, or any rules or order made thereunder, the occupier and manager shall each be guilty of an offence and punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 2 years, or with fine which may extend to rupees 1 lakh, or with both, and if the contravention is continued after conviction, with a further fine of rupees 1000 for each day till contravention continues. So, my dear students, just give emphasis on the Factories Act and give emphasis on the topics like health, safety, work of young person, work of female female workers. Okay, and if you have any question, please feel free to contact me, and I'll be discussing the questions which are generally asked in the context of Factories Act 1948, and also you give emphasis on health and safety of the workers. That is important in the context of examination. Please visit my new website, which is under construction also, that is www.pkshikdaradvancedlearning.com. There is a chat box. You can ask question and I'll be replying. You may also WhatsApp me your question. So for my phone number 98301 is concerned, or you may email me at shikdarpk1958@gmail.com. So during this lockdown period, hope you are staying in good health, staying safe, and and you are staying at home only, don't go for unnecessary purpose out of your residence. And if you want to purchase any essential items, then definitely you have to go out. But remember, after returning from the markets, you have to wash your hands. It will be better if you can change your clothes, because this virus is really khatarnak. So my request to all of you will be, please take care of your health, and advice to students, please do the study in a continuous basis, and wish you all the best. Thank you very much.